Hello, I'm Alex and this is Elo, and tonight we're going to talk to you about stories, well-being support for young people leaving care and moving into their first home.
We've noticed that discussion about care leavers often paints their experiences as a sob story. We don't want to do that. We've been lucky enough to work for children in care and care leavers in a pupil referral unit and care leavers service, and they are some of the most resilient people we've ever met.
The real sob story is the care system itself. 10,000 young people leave care each year in England. If you are one of those 10,000, you are statistically more likely to go to prison than to university. The process of leaving care does not do enough to support the emotional well-being of these young people making this transition.
Many care leavers may already have had to deal with an abusive childhood, possibly followed by constant upheaval in the care system. Added to this, they move out very young, usually 6 to 8 years younger than the average young person. This is done without the support network for family that most of us would have. Once they move out, they get given a grant of up to £2,000 by the local authority to furnish their first home. The young person's worker, possibly with up to 25 other young people on their caseload, does not necessarily have time to sit down with the young person and walk them through the spending of that money. I had several young people, when I was working at the care leavers service, try and convince me that it was responsible to spend money on 3 pairs of Reeboks instead of a bed. They then move in, and they're often living alone, and experience acute loneliness and don't have a local support network.
Stories is a programme in personal development and emotional well-being to support care leavers transitioning into independent living. Stories works in 3 stages. Taking 5 young people at a time, we begin work with one-on-one support, supporting the young person with the spending of their leaving care grant, making sure they get what they want, but also what they need. Secondly, once they've moved into their flats in a similar area, we begin our 6-week programme of twice-weekly workshops. These workshops use drama, poetry and visual art to build a positive sense of identity, help form healthy relationships, and recognise and apply new strengths. Thirdly, we facilitate continued meetups with the group so that they can create their own local interdependent support network that can continue and sustain itself post-programme. Within this, we also work with the young people one-on-one for continued support. Stage 1 saves time for local authorities' employees because we are taking the management of the leaving care grant off their hands. Stage 2 addresses a key government recommendation that emotional wellbeing support needs to be at the forefront with care leavers. And Stage 3 increases the likelihood that the young people we work with will sustain their tenancies and so cut down on very expensive emergency accommodation costs for local authorities.
While I was working at the care leavers service, I met a girl called Alice. Alice and I worked together to find her work experience in a florist, which she was extremely excited about. However, after 2 weeks, she stopped going. Having been moved from place to place throughout her teens and then being out of work for a while, she was struggling with her emotional well-being and she found the work too tough to sustain. She also told me that she was fed up with going to see counsellors and talking about her problems as she had been required to throughout her life. She was looking for a new way to make herself feel happier, possibly that involved working in a group rather than sitting alone in a room. I think Alice embodies why our programme is needed for young people, and it is also a completely unique proposition in the mixture between personal development, emotional well-being and creativity.
We offer ourselves as a service to London local authorities, charging £500 per participant per programme. Local authorities already pay for a type of support that's practical in helping their young people move into independence. We would price ourselves competitively against this support, whilst also offering something completely new in our focus on emotional well-being. Tonight, we're looking for non-financial support and collaborators in any of the following areas on the left. On the right-hand side, money-wise, £5,500 would help us run a programme twice over with 10 young people, but £3,000 would be enough to run our first full pilot.
We've designed our package of workshops and began to deliver them, and so far, we've had really positive feedback from the young people. We're in talks with several London local authorities, 2 of whom are really excited to get started on our pilot programme as soon as possible. Children in care are children of the state, and by extension, all of our children. Please help us support this incredible group, because outcomes for care leavers should be no different to outcomes for all other young people. Thank you.